Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome to the At Home Film Festival. I decided this week to do an episode all about movies filmed or about the Bay Area or from a Bay Area filmmaker. But I always try to uncover movies you've never seen or forgotten. So I'm not going to do great movies like this, like What's Up Doc, which I love. I could watch every day. And of course, I'm not going to do Mrs. Doubtfire or even Bullet, which totally explores the streets of San Francisco. And I'm not doing one of the greatest films of all time, Vertigo, totally a love letter to San Francisco. But I always try to find movies you may not have seen or forgotten. And this week is no exception. I will have one for each day of the week for you to watch, or you could binge. But if you stick to the very end, I have a movie that is so heartwarming that I'm so inspired by this film that if you don't feel the love that this film exudes from the screen, then I'm coming to your house and checking to see if you have a pulse. But let's take a look at our 7 movies now. Okay, this movie was kind of big, but it's been forgotten. It's called The Net with Sandra Bullock. It was very successful when it came out. It takes place in San Francisco. I had to have something sort of big on this list because if they're all obscure, maybe you're not going to watch this show. But you could watch The Net. It often appears at many free streaming channels, but you could also pay a few dollars to rent it. It's very good. I love the way they go to the Moscone Center. A lot of wonderful things about this film. It's early in the Sandra Bullock days before she even had an Oscar, so I enjoyed it. Also, on a classic level, you probably didn't see this unless you like old movies, is Sudden Fear. Oh, this movie is so good. You can find it on Tubi. It got Joan Crawford and Jack Palance Oscar nominations. The plot is great. She is a rich playwright that moves to San Francisco. She meets an amazingly handsome, friendly guy, but is he that friendly? She does have money after all. Is he just a gigolo? Let's watch the movie and find out. Okay, now let's look at the movies you probably don't know and other cities besides San Francisco, like this movie from Fremont. It's called Fremont. You can find it on Hulu. It's a very interesting tale about a woman whose life is not as exciting as she'd like to be. She has dreams and aspirations, as do we all. She works at a fortune cookie factory. Well, she starts putting her own fortunes in the cookies. And let's see what turns out with those cookies. The cast isn't very known, but it does have Jeremy Allen White, who was on The Bear, who was on the show Shameless. He started making movies now. He's a big talent. This is a great role for him, but it's really not his story. It's her story. I almost forgot about Dogfight. I can't believe it because this movie really moved me. You could watch it and be moved for a few dollars. It has River Phoenix and Lily Taylor. He's the guy in the service, and he ends up meeting a woman to try to date that people think she's ugly and she's a plain person. And it's almost like first he does it as a joke, but they start developing real feelings. It's really good. It became an off-Broadway musical, by the way, so the story is one that people like to tell. You should really catch this. It's very overlooked and underrated, and let's put it back on the map. Oh, this movie is like poetry. It's called Kicks. It takes place in Richmond, California. It's about a young man who ends up getting some Jordans, and where he lives, it's not the best neighborhood. Someone steals them from him. He spends the movie trying to get them back, but at the same time, the dialogue and the narration is very poetic, and it has some sort of ethereal connection to other things, which really brought this movie and elevated this movie to a higher plateau. And Mahershala Ali plays a role in this too. And this is, shows that we have so much great talent come out of the Bay Area. And this movie is no exception. Find it on YouTube. And sure, the Joy Luck Club was a giant hit when it came out. It actually surprised it because people did not know people would flock to see this movie. But it's a totally rich in Asian history and family and tradition. And it shows all these generations of women that bond and help each other out like a family, whether they're related by blood or not, or through marriage. Totally a wonderful film. You gotta catch this just for a few dollars to rent. Promise you'll enjoy it. Okay, Here it is, the film that will just warm your heart, and if it doesn't, we better have you go to the doctor. Paper Bag Plan from Anthony Lucero, a great filmmaker. He had another film I almost did, but I've talked about it before, East Side Sushi. That movie was totally rich in Oakland history. This film was mostly filmed in Southern California, but it does have some connections to Oakland, and they have a few scenes in Oakland, but the story, oh my God. It's about a father who's getting on in age, and he realizes he's not going to be there forever for his son, but his son needs help, and what's he going to do? So he teaches his son how to bag groceries so he can get a job at the grocery store. The way he does this, he buys all these groceries and puts them in his house at practice and as the neighbors come over. I was so touched by this movie, trying to help his son have independence and still be there for him as long as he can, because a father-son bond is hard to break. If you are not moved by this film, I want to know why. I want to know why, because this movie is terrific, moving, lovely, well photographed, well written. Everything about this movie I applaud. Oh my God, other people did too. Look at those reviews. I couldn't count how many stars that was, but that was a damn lot. Anyway, please watch Paper Bag Plan. And if you want to make a double feature, add East Side Sushi as well. That's our show of the week. I hope you share. I hope you subscribe. I hope you come back and tell me what movies from the Bay Area that you love. As we leave, I'm kind of cheating. I'm adding time after time. I've talked about it on the show before, which is why I cut it from my 7 movies for the week. But who said you can't have 8? The Beatles even sang about 8 days a week. But this movie is so wonderful. It's a science fiction, romantic comedy, road trip, drama, horror, mystery, suspense. It's everything in one movie. This should have been up for Oscars. It was up for none. This movie's so great. It's where H.G. Wells follows Jack the Ripper into 20th century San Francisco, so that only learn about stuff that's different over the decades between when they were in one time period to the other. But also, actor Malcolm McDowell met his wife, Mary Steenburgen, on the set of this film. They were married for years. This is before Ted Danson. So even that is such a beautiful joy. Look at their chemistry. Anyway, oh God, they look good. I'll see you next week. I'm gonna go watch this movie again right now because I'm ready for it. God, look at that. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, he's so evil.